Here's everything that happened while we were on the clock. The state of Israel admits to using Palestinians as human shields. Social Security, under pressure from DOGE, may cut phone service for claims processing, affecting millions of elderly and disabled Americans. American travelers booking fewer domestic flights signals economic concerns. Canadians must now register with the U.S. government when visiting. 3 charged with murder after a 5-year-old dies in a hyperbaric chamber explosion. U.S. Customs seizing more eggs than fentanyl as egg prices remain high. Nevada court case seeks damages from Real Water following a 2021 recall and recent lawsuits over death and injuries. Judge declines to block DOGE's takeover of an African development agency. EPA moves to reduce protections for U.S. waterways. Alarm raised over housing downturn in U.S. cities. Trump Labor Department cuts childcare programs for its own employees. Detroit police submit warrant request against mom of 2 kids who died in a van at a Greektown casino garage. And that's everything that happened while we were on the clock. Trump wants to shut down the Department of Education and restrict loan forgiveness. Here's what that means for student loans and student loan forgiveness. So, what happens to student loans? Loans won't necessarily disappear, but oversight will shift. The Department of Education manages loans for 43 million people, handling payments and forgiveness programs. Trump wants to transfer this to the Treasury, Commerce Department, or Small Business Administration. Now, the Treasury already handles financial data, but shifting oversight could cause delays, servicing disruptions, and confusion, making repayment harder. Now, what happens to loan forgiveness programs? The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, or the PSLF, cancels loans for teachers, nurses, and first responders after 10 years of payments. Trump's executive order seeks to block PSLF for nonprofits that provide gender-affirming healthcare, support diversity initiatives, or are linked to terrorist activities. However, the Department of Education office confirmed that no immediate PSLF changes are expected. Legal challenges are expected, though, since Congress, not the president, sets PSLF rules. Another big question, can Trump abolish the Department of Education without Congress? No! Congress must approve its closure. To work around this, Trump is cutting funding, slashing staff, and shifting duties to other agencies. So far, nearly half of the department's workforce has been cut. The Secretary of Education supports Trump's plan and is working with Congress to phase the Department of Education out. So if you're like me and owe thousands in student loans, you're probably wondering, what should I do? For now, loan payments, interest rates, and repayment programs stay the same. But if loans move to another agency, expect delays, lost paperwork, and stricter rules. To prepare for the impending chaos, keep all of your records on student loans, keep all of your payments, stay informed, and make sure you expect possible disruptions. Do y'all remember the Detroit homeless mother who reached out to city officials multiple times begging for help just for her children to die weeks later because of the city's inaction? Well, now city officials are pursuing charges against her. Tatiana Williams lost 2 of her 5 children in a devastating incident last month. Williams and her family had been living in their van in the parking structure after falling on hard times. On the morning of February 10th, Williams made a horrifying discovery. One of her children was unresponsive. As she rushed to get help, she received another call informing her that a second child had also stopped breathing. Initially, it was believed that the children had froze to death due to the van running out of gas and losing heat overnight. However, medical examiners later confirmed that the cause of death was carbon monoxide toxicity, showing just how dangerous the conditions the family faced while trying to survive homelessness were. Now, Williams, who had repeatedly reached out to city officials and the children's father for help, was left without adequate support. And now, instead of focusing on systemic failures, Detroit police have submitted a warrant request to charge Williams, shifting blame onto a mother who was already struggling to keep her family alive. How can they not see that criminalizing this mother ignores the larger issue of homelessness and the lack of affordable housing and social services in Detroit? As the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office reviews the warrant request, we must demand compassion and accountability from city officials. Instead of punishing a grieving mother, address the root causes of homelessness and ensure no mother has to bury her children again due to homelessness. Y'all know the saying, every accusation is a confession. Well, now Israel has admitted that the IOF has been using Palestinians as human shields during its assault on Gaza. For the first time, the IOF has acknowledged a, quote, reasonable suspicion that its soldiers forced Palestinians to participate in military operations. Reports indicate that IOF soldiers allegedly forced civilians to enter booby-trapped homes and tunnels. According to CNN, one Palestinian recounted how the IOF forced him to move furniture and film under staircases, placing him directly in harm's way. In another instance, an IOF soldier instructed another to use a 16-year-old and a 20-year-old as human shields before entering a building, stating, quote, it's better that the Palestinian will explode and not our soldiers, end quote. This practice is so entrenched within the IOF that they reportedly refer to it as mosquito protocol. This practice is a blatant violation of international law, yet it's crickets from so-called human rights activists and lawyers. As the so-called investigations unfold, the world watches to see whether there will be accountability or if this this will be yet another chapter in the long history of denying Palestinians their self-determination and dignity. The Hague needs a body. Mahmoud Khalil, a student at Columbia University, appeared in court today after being detained by plainclothes DHS agents while walking back with his pregnant wife to their student housing. Khalil was taken because of his outspoken criticism of Israel's genocide in Gaza. Khalil appeared before Judge Furman in the Southern District of New York. His lawyers argue that Khalil's treatment has made it difficult to defend him. They pointed out that he was moved nearly 1,000 miles away from his pregnant wife and legal team, limiting their access to him. They also accused the government of delaying phone calls with Khalil, further obstructing his defense. The lawyers asked the judge to ensure that they could have privileged conversations with their client. Now, Judge Furman ruled the following. Filings will be unsealed with the consent of both parties. Khalil is allowed 2 privileged calls with his lawyers, one today and one tomorrow. Amended petition is due by 9 p.m. The judge did appear skeptical of the government's arguments on jurisdiction, so moving him from New York to Louisiana. Thousands of people gathered in New York City to demand Khalil's release, and millions more protested worldwide. His lawyer said that he was targeted because of his support for Palestinian rights. They also said the government blocked his contact with them. The state says that Khalil was given a notice to appear in a Louisiana court for removal proceedings. As of now, Khalil will not be released today. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers are now seizing more eggs than fentanyl at the border. Since October 2024, there have been 3,768 seizures of bird and poultry-related products, more than 10 times the number of fentanyl seizures in the same period. Cities like San Diego and Detroit have seen egg smuggling skyrocket, with San Diego reporting a 158% increase. The surge in smuggling comes as egg prices in the United States continue to climb. An outbreak of avian flu has wiped out 18.8 million commercial egg-laying hens, driving up prices by 8.4% in December and 13.8% in January. Experts predict prices could jump by 41.1% this year alone. Smuggling eggs in the U.S. is illegal due to the risk of spreading diseases like avian flu. If you get caught, you face fines of up to $300, but that hasn't stopped desperate individuals from trying. The increase in egg seizures just shows how desperate people are getting as prices continue to soar. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump made the egg crisis a big issue, criticizing the Biden administration's handling of the bird flu outbreak and rising grocery prices. He promised to lower grocery prices, including eggs, on day one. However, so far under Trump, consumers have only seen concepts of a plan, not concrete solutions, as our grocery bills continue to rise.